All these luxury brands people been buying over here in America for all these thousands of dollars. China just told you, oh, we the ones that make it. And now you can go to China and get the same luxury brands for the low. You must understand what the word art, any word with RE in front of it means to redo, repeat, redo, rewind. So what they do is they buy it over in China for real low, and they ship it over here, and they reprice it for retail. Man, America ain't nothing, man. America ain't that. America, these some dogs, you hear me? $114,000 pocketbook Hermes bags. $90,000 Hermes bags. Are you fucking crazy? Let me show y'all something when it comes to buying Hermes bags. Well, a lot of people probably didn't notice, but after today, you have been informed. Now check this out. Now, generally, most Hermes boutiques limit customers to 2 bags a year. However, this is a general rule and exceptions can be made for high-spending customers. You mean tell me $114,000, $90,000, $200,000 bags you can only buy twice a year? See, this is how they fool y'all to make this think this is worth more than what it is. Let's get back to the video. You only can buy 2 a year. That is unheard of. You got people sleeping on the bridges, dying from depression from pills, fentanyl, pharmaceutical pills, and just starvation, drugs. All this is all the things that America has done to its people, bro. This is why I say, man, China does not promote nothing that makes them look bad or in a negative way as we do over here. It's forbidden. What you gotta understand is, I told y'all, in Japan, the kids wear yellow jackets, yellow hats, and yellow shirts so that the community has to assist these children, which therefore promotes a more positive and more crimeless environment. They do the opposite over here. That's why I say, bro, it's messed up. But China, now you can go to China and buy these same luxury brands, and they cutting the taxes on it. See, this is how you fight fire with fire. All this tariffs and all this. See, this tariff stuff, it's not going to affect Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and all these people at the top. It's not. They're going to make money off of this. You're going to be affected. I'm going to be affected. And this is why I say, America, why?
I highly have to disagree with you on that one, Papa Duck, because a lot of people don't shop from China. You understand me? A lot of people don't, understand me, get their goods from China. You understand me? So I have to disagree on that one. It ain't going to affect everyone, because a lot of people don't give a damn at this point. Them China goods are cheap than a motherfucker, and they break just like that. You understand me? The clothes rip just like that. The Jordans y'all buy are made in China. You understand me? So it's not going to affect the people that's not materialistic. Understand me? Let's go.
Do we allocate powers to people that's going to use them against us? This is why I say, bro, and they do it strategically as it goes down. Like I say, the people, as it goes down, people don't give a damn about nothing. It's just the ones on the bottom. We are the ones at the bottom that's going to be affected.
We got to stop being consumers, Papa Duck. This is the perfect chance for you to get on your platform and tell people, look, hey, if they want to do tariffs, save your money. God damn it. Give a damn what we going through right now. That's only for a minute. Save your little bit of coins you got and stop trying to be part of the Jones. Stop trying to keep up with the Jones with that China shit. I told y'all that shit, all that shit made in China, where y'all be shopping on Temu. You Temu shoppers. You understand me? So nah, man. Let's stop, man. Let's stop with the excuses, man. Like you said, we the consumers, it's gonna hurt some of the consumers that love to get their money away. But if you got any kind of brains in your head, at this point, it's the perfect time to start saving money. Like, fuck it. Whatever you got, make it work. You understand me? Check. Like y'all say, hold the dollar. Fuck it. Hold the dollar then, goddammit. They doing tariffs, hold the dollar. Goddammit, invest into yourself. Invest into your baby's future at this point. You understand me?
Middle class. The That's why everybody woofing. That's why everybody bitching and everybody complaining. Because that problem came knocking on your front door. 20 years ago, you ain't care about what's going on. 20 years ago, half the people that's complaining right now today, they wasn't complaining 20 years ago. They are now. But it's crazy how in America these people can fool the hell out of you to make you think because you buy this bag you are certain superior, or you got your rabbit ass mind. And this is why I love my mindset. You know what I'm saying?
Gas prices coming down again, y'all.
You will never get.
We was just here yesterday. They was $2.99. Where they at now this morning, y'all? Huh? Where they at this morning, y'all? Huh? Huh? $2.97, goddammit. Let's go.
You just spent $114,000 on a bag. On a bag. It will never happen. It's just stupidity.
But you'll spend $280 on a pair of Jordans. You see what I'm saying, peoples? We gotta stop, y'all. Like, literally. We just give our money away as consumers. Y'all always preach that hold the dollar, boycott, and hold the dollar. This is the opportunity, the perfect opportunity to hold your dollars. Y'all don't gotta order all the time online, buying that cheap shit from Temu.
I understand you buy things that you might like, that's nice, but overpriced things, that's just stupid as shit to do. No, I will never do it. See, one thing about America has brought and introduced reproduction. Reproduction has more value over craftsmanship. They don't acknowledge the person that's took 30 days to build this little boat and crafted it. No, they want to take something and duplicate it and charge you way more money for it, right?
$2.95, y'all,
no,
at Chester Gas.
Like artistry, there's no value in that no more. You know what I'm saying? But this is what America does, man. America strategically prey on its people, right? And you got people right now thinking because they driving a certain car, they wearing a certain type of brand, they think they superior than other people. Come on, bro. I guarantee you, don't give a fuck. You jump out there in that motherfucker on road and
until you gotta order them car parts with them tariffs being put up on you.
watch your ass get hit by a truck with your Hermes bag on, or your Versace, your Louis Vuitton. That's why I say those type of people I don't fuck with. I don't like bougie people.
Understand me? Bougie ass motherfuckers. Bougie ass motherfuckers.
I don't deal with them, and it's not because I don't like. I respect them. I don't vibe with those type of people because you live in a fairy tale in your mind. I would never put myself over other people. That's what Ubuntu stands for. We are all equal. All equal. I don't care what I got or don't got. Anybody know me personally, bro? They know I'm a good person. I'm gonna be an asset to your friendship. I'm gonna be an asset to your circle. Why? Because that's the type of person I am. Okay? And I know good guys finish last, but I can't help the way that God built me, or the Most High, I would say. I don't like to put a name on that. The Most High built me in a way where my characteristics is I like to help people before I help myself. And that's why I don't vibe with those type of people. Those type of people think they better than people. And this is no disrespect, but at the end of the day, this is my truth. You know what I'm saying? And I respect them. I would never disrespect them or none of that, but I just don't. My circle is not engulfed in people who think they're better than other people. No, man, I don't vibe like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, when I love unconditionally. I don't love under conditions. So what I'm saying is this, man. If you look around your house right now, everything you see is gonna be made from China. You know what I'm saying? In China, like I said, you have to fight fire with fire. And the only way you can take something down, it has to be equal or greater to the same force, right? That's just physics. You can't expect a 18-wheeler to stop a train, but you can expect a train to stop a train or anything above that when it comes to force or power. So that's how power got to bring down power. And this is what happens. The only thing about it is, over here in America, these people that made these decisions for us are the ones that's going to benefit from it, not us. And it's crazy, bro. That's why I say, man, you gotta change all this, man. You don't send your child to private school, right? Teach them what life is really about, the real values of life, right? Don't separate from your family. That's the biggest problem they taught us. They taught it, they use against us, right? We living in a country where we don't like our family, and we got so many reasons why. But we've been bred and conditioned to. This is what happens when you don't have culture. Culture is the glue to your success or to your future. But when they strip you of your culture and give you this bullshit Western way of living, bro, it's over with, bro. Don't you know culturally, man? When you go to the mall, you see Indian people, you see the mama, you see the grandma and the granddaddy, you see the mama and the daddy, then you see the children. The grandma and the granddaddy keeps the children while the mama and daddy go out, right, to secure finances for the whole family, and it rotates. We wasn't taught that, and it makes sense. But what we do, we try to do everything on our own, man. These people teach us this bullshit, man. They turn around and use it against us, bro. And they gotta stop. So what I'm saying is this, bro. When it comes to them tariffs, the Elon Musks, the Jeff Bezos, the Mark Zuckerbergs, all the motherfuckers, they're the ones that's gonna benefit from it. And trust me, snakes don't make decisions based.
I'ma benefit from it too, Papa Duck, cause guess what? I'm holding my dollar, man. Like, I ain't looking for no excuse whatsoever to throw a monkey wrench in King Trump program, what he got going on. Best thing that's gonna help America. You understand me? He putting America first. And if they ain't trying to be on board with King Trump, guess what? Fuck them. You understand me? At the end of the day, fuck them. Straight up. That's a fact, yeah. Like I said, this is the perfect time now to hold your dollar. Fuck it. Whatever you got laying around in your house, your garage, your attic, your basements, make that shit work. It's only for a minute, ladies and gentlemen. Make it work. You understand me? It ain't the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. Best to believe it ain't. It's just the beginning, goddammit. It's just the beginning. Stop looking for excuses at this point. You know what I mean? Like I said, a lot of people that's going to be affected, like they said, is the African-American community because they're consumers. They don't know how to invest their money into their self. And not all my peoples, but y'all know what I'm talking about and where I'm getting at with it. God damn it. Stop looking for excuses to play the blame game, God damn it. Of course, it's gonna hurt you. Materialistic, as Papa Duck would say, bougie ass motherfuckers. That loves the order. That loves the order shit online. You ain't gonna be seeing them Amazon trucks like that. Because goddamn it, everything is made in China, like Papa Duck said. Everything. Like everything that was taught to you and told to you was a motherfucking lie. I told y'all that. Everything that was taught to you and told to you was a bull-faced lie. In your face. Ladies and gentlemen. In your face. So now, they done got y'all so comfortable of being the #1 consumer to China. Y'all having hissy fits now. You understand me? Y'all having little hissy fits. Oh, I can't get. Yo, chill the fuck out, y'all. Alright? Take a chill pill. It ain't the end of the world. Y'all gonna have a goddamn heart attack or a stroke. Keep engaging into these Luciferian worshipers telling y'all that it's the end of the world when we know goddamn well it was the end of the world for the last 4 years when that Democratic regime was in office and in power. We all know that. It was the end of the world. Because at that point, America had shut down and everything was about the illegal migrants and the motherfucking, the mooks, the LGBT mooks. You understand me? Check. So it might hurt the bourgeois, the bougie, the I gotta have this right now. type of motherfuckers. So what I did was I went online last night, right? I went on Amazon. I said, you know what? Let me see something. You know what I mean? I'm looking for something to order, right? With the tabs being in place. I said, let me see something. Let me look up a little walk behind push lawnmower, right? Little walk behind John with the blades on it. 15-inch blades, right? Amazon got it. $52. Like $52 for the product. But when it was time to check out, when it was time to check the fuck out, god damn it, the shipping and handling and the taxes came more than what the product was. Shipping and handling by itself was $50. So at that point I said, oh, and then the taxes came in. So it was like almost $60. The product was only like $51 now. How is the shipping and the handling and the taxes more than the goddamn product? I said, oh, that's right. Them tariffs. You understand me? So yes, you're gonna see an effect when you order something. Like I said, I was bullshitting yesterday about the wigs, the $3 wigs, and you're gonna be paying $50 for it now. In reality, ladies and gentlemen, bunch of Mexicanos up here getting ready to go to work this morning. Is it a pause on the Mexicanos being shipped back over the border? But anyway, y'all, look, dig the move here, y'all. Save your coins. It's the perfect opportunity to save your coins, ladies and gentlemen. There's no excuse. You so enriched of giving your money away to these other foreigners that it's like a drug. You like a drug addict when it comes to shopping, buying products from China. That cheap shit. That break within a day or a week. And that's a fact. A 100% fact. Not fiction. I had brought this motherfucking joint I'm using now that's holding my phone up. That clicks onto your rear view mirror. That shit only lasted a week. That shit broke, man. So I had to rig this motherfucker up somehow, some way. I think I told y'all in the video. And this was way before the tariffs. I'm like, damn, but you know, when you buying shit from China, that shit cheap than a motherfucker, man. You know what I mean? You go over there and get a pair of Jordans over in China for like $5. Get a pair of Jordans for $5, and then they bring them over here, ship them over here, and then the retailers over here jack the price up, and then you find yourself paying down at $300 for a pair of sneakers. But I did hear King Trump ain't putting tariffs. They holding the tariffs on the iPhones. You understand me? Those type of electronics, as we would say, electronics. They pausing the tariffs on the electronics. You understand me? You can pretty much do what you want when you the president and you the king. Especially when them jive turkeys was trying to take you down and fabricating lies on you. Shit, it's only right to exploit my rivals. You understand me? With their foolishness. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, the tariff war is on. So when you think about ordering something, everything is made in China. God damn it. Remember them brands used to have made in Taiwan? Remember them shits, y'all? Y'all remember that? Made in Hong Kong? Everything is made in China, goddammit. Everything. So it's going to affect you, the consumer, who loves to give their money away. Loves to give their money away to some buying some foolishness. Buying some foolishness. It's gonna boil over though, ladies and gentlemen. It's not the end of the world. Most definitely not the end of the world. It's just the beginning. It's just the beginning. Understand me? So hold on to your hat, hold on to your boots. About to see better days, y'all. Like I said, I see better days going to that goddamn market and going to that gas pump. Most definitely see better days. That's a fact. But they're gonna hypnotize y'all with the tariffs. They're gonna hypnotize y'all with the tariffs. They ain't gonna talk about it. Understand me? They're gonna lead y'all astray to some other foolishness. And they ain't gonna tell y'all that the prices coming down at the market. Market, gas prices, putting America first. Understand me? That's the name of the game. We all voted for it, putting America first. So if you ain't down with America, keep your goods. But they not telling y'all them goods over there in China, they not making money either. Y'all, hold on, let me bring that up. Hold on.
Of what, and this is the thing, I've been reading a lot of this lately. Going back, in 1992, I voted for Ross Perot. Mm-hmm. You know why I voted for Ross Perot? For one reason, because he was the only candidate that talked about how devastating NAFTA would be to American jobs and to our manufacturing base. And he talked about that giant sucking sound. I've read this book here in the last week, Save Your Jobs, Save Our Country, Why NAFTA Must Be Stopped Now. You know what's interesting? Since then, Ross Perot's become a prophet. Since NAFTA was inception in 1993, we've lost 90,000 manufacturing facilities in this country, millions of jobs, and these weren't, low-end jobs. These were jobs that paid decent wages, had good benefits, retirement security.
I agree with you.
They built communities.
But here's my thing.
But here's the deal.
NAFTA was 30 years ago. The situation that we are dealing with right now, and I agree with you. I'm on the side of the folks that said this did the American workers wrong. Absolutely. But right now, we are dealing with a situation where it's not, these are blanket tariffs. We are dealing with a situation where manufacturing is not going to come back in 2 weeks. So I am really struggling to understand how UAW has aligned itself with Trump on this.
Well, and I think more specifically, Mr. Fame, just real quick on that point, how do tariffs create jobs?
So first off, NAFTA is still causing us to lose jobs in this country.
That's true.
Our broken trade system is still causing us to lose jobs in this country. And no one from either party has been willing to even address the issue for 30 plus years. That's the first thing. And we support tariffs as a tool in the toolbox, not the end-all be-all. We got to fix the broken trade system. But tariffs are a motivator to make these companies do the right thing.
All right, guys. So once again, we got to talk about President Trump's trade war with China. Okay, a trade war that is currently a very fluid situation. I feel like every time I make a video about it, the video basically becomes obsolete due to the fact that information is evolving by the hour in regards to what's happening, what's not happening. But the reason why it's like that is because President Trump is not only fighting against China, right, but he's fighting against Wall Street, the Democrats, and the mainstream liberal media, all of whom are on the side of China. And they're putting massive pressure on President Trump to back down to China because they don't want to interrupt the way that business currently is conducted between the United States and China, in which Wall Street overwhelmingly benefits from their relationship in China, doing business in China, and they don't want that to end. Okay, and this is why they're currently putting out propaganda claiming that President Trump's trade war is a threat to the dollar, that President Trump is going to cause the dollar to collapse due to the trade war, which is actually Wall Street trying to pretend as if the dollar is collapsing by making it seem like the bond market is broken because of President Trump's trade war. But again, the narrative here is that President Trump is a threat to the dollar. This is how they're trying to get him to back down.
We're really out of time, but a very quick question. How concerned are you about what's happening to the U.S. dollar? We have seen the dollar at having its worst week in 3 years. There are concerns about a weakening dollar because of all this uncertainty. How concerned are you about that?
I am not concerned about it. We are focused on our tariff policy. We are focused. We have so many countries coming in to negotiate with us. The president has given us the ability, let's go get these great deals done. And we're on it, and the president's on it, and we're really, really focused on delivering the best thing for the American people.
That the United States will dip into a recession because of President Trump's tariffs?
I think that right now we are at a decision-making point and very close to a recession. And I'm worried about something worse than a recession if this isn't handled well. A recession is 2 negative quarters of GDP, and whether it goes slightly there, we always have those things. We have something that's much more profound. We have a breaking down of the monetary order. We are going to change the monetary order because we cannot spend the amounts of money, so we have that problem. And when we talk about the dollar and we talk about tariffs, we have that. We are having profound changes in our domestic order, how ruling is existing, and we're having profound changes in the world order. Such times are very much like the 1930s. I've studied history, and this repeats over and over again. So if you take tariffs, if you take debt, if you take the rising power challenging the existing power, if you take those factors and look at the factors, those changes in the orders, the systems, are very, very disruptive. How that's handled could produce something that is much worse than a recession, or it could be handled well.
What's very different here is normally when stocks go down as much as they have, there's a flight to quality, and quality becomes defined as U.S. Treasuries and the U.S. dollar. In this particular downdraft in the market, we're seeing Treasury yields go up and the dollar weaken. That's kind of an alarming trend. To me, that's flashing yellow that something is going on here more than just deleveraging.
Yeah, so the $1 trillion question here is who is selling U.S. Treasuries? Now, I've already explained my theory before to you guys, but I will explain it in a much more concise way so people understand why I believe that Wall Street is currently trying to undermine President Trump. Because again, they don't like these tariffs, okay? Especially big companies like Apple, for example, that depend on importing electronics into this country, right? And instead of holding out and having President Trump apply maximum pressure on China, right, which means that Wall Street may have to take some losses for maybe a week or two, okay, in order to get China to the table. No, they don't want to do that, right? And instead, they would rather bond dump, which means that they are purposely selling their U.S. Treasuries to drive up yields, okay, making it seem as if people are no longer confident in the dollar, except it's just Wall Street and probably China dumping their treasuries. Now, why do I believe China is dumping their treasuries? Well, the reason why is because it would make sense for them to do so in the short term in order to make it seem as if they have a position of strength over President Trump, okay? Because if they start to sell U.S. treasuries, they can use that to prop up their economy, okay? Because right now, their exports are basically blocked from coming to the United States with these tariffs. A lot of companies cannot sell to the United States with 100+% tariffs, okay? It makes it extremely hard for them to do so. So in order to prop up their economy in the short term, even though in the long term, this would not be good for China, selling treasuries would make it seem like the economy is doing better than it is, right? This is why their stock market in the yuan hasn't completely crashed, which it should have, okay, due to the fact that, again, Chinese manufacturers are struggling, right? And this is something that you're not going to see in the mainstream level media because it doesn't really fit the narrative that China is hurting a lot more than we are right now. But again, the whole point is to make it seem like the U.S. is hurting more than China to get Trump to fold first, because again, Wall Street, they don't like this.
A business owner running an automotive parts processing factory in Guangdong expresses helplessness in a video. Once the tariffs went up, the factory turned into a retirement home. This time last year, the machines were deafening. Now, not even rats come around. 2 million yuan worth of goods are stacked up like mountains, and no one wants them, not even for free. The workers sit outside in the sun all day, and I'm paying their basic wages out of my own pocket. The bank is hounding me every day over the loan. If this keeps up for another 3 months, these machines will be worth nothing but scrap. The Americans raise tariffs without a second thought, but it's killing those of us in real industry. Does anyone have a way to clear out this inventory? I'll take scrap prices if I have to. A clothing factory owner is clearing out inventory due to excess stock.
Does anyone want these white pants? If you don't mind, it's a shame to throw away tens of thousands of them. The US is hitting us with heavy tariffs, and these goods are affected. Physical stores are closing down. All the big brands are shipping their genuine products with labels. There's only 3 days left, so I'm clearing everything out at a discount. If you've never bought before, now's the time to try a few.
The US-China trade war has dealt a devastating blow to industries that depend on exports to the United States, especially in sectors such as textiles, apparel, electronics, and automotive products. Factories that previously manufactured goods for American brands have been hit hardest, with widespread order cancellations and even finished products left without buyers. Many factories have been forced to halt production or attempt to reduce inventory through domestic sales, but weak consumer demand at home has limited the impact, resulting in heavy losses. Today is April 10th. US tariffs have surged to a staggering 145%. Many friends running OEM factories for American brands told me all their US orders were canceled. Even completed goods are being rejected, and shipments that already reached the port are being pulled back. Some shameless clients are even demanding their deposits back. When disaster hits, it's always the factories left holding the bag.
Yeah, so you're not going to get that narrative in the mainstream level media because, again, the media is pro-China, right? If the media came out and told people that, hey, you know, if we hold on just maybe a week or two longer with maximum pressure on China, we'll probably break them, right? We'll probably actually get them to the table because, again, their economy cannot survive, okay? People will be unemployed. There will be mass unemployment. China is in a real estate bubble. There are a lot of demographic issues going on in China. They have an aging population. They need the United States of America. They need our market. And when we close up our market like that, that is a big blow to China. But again, you don't hear that narrative in the media because they don't want you to think that, right? That means that President Trump is winning and that his tariffs are working. And you can't have that, right? Wall Street can't have that. Wall Street can't take a loss. They can't take a hit for a week or two, right? They just can't hold out like real patriots, right? Like you know, pro-American businesses who, again, want to see America win instead of just their pocketbooks, right? No, they can't do that. Okay, they have to dump U.S. treasuries to pretend as if President Trump is collapsing the dollar, right? So I want you guys to understand, Wall Street is creating a crisis, a financial crisis. I would go as far as to call it economic treason, right? They're engage in financial warfare against the United States of America because when they sell treasury bonds like they're doing, right, like clearly, obviously they're doing in protest of Trump, right, in order to try to keep Trump in line, that drives up interest rates. And when interest rates are driven up, mortgage rates, things of that nature go up, that increase borrowing costs, right? It puts strain on the U.S. economy when you have Wall Street bond dumping, right? When people start bond dumping, okay, which again, I believe that's what Wall Street is doing, that hurts the U.S. economy and helps China, okay? It doesn't mean that people are losing faith in the dollar. That's not what it means. It just means that Wall Street is throwing a fit. And if China, if they're selling treasuries already, then that means they're probably panicking. So I just want people to be clear, okay? My thesis is that you have a country that is probably bond dumping, likely China, and then you also have domestic forces in the United States of America, like Wall Street, and who knows, maybe some other financial institutions in Europe or other parts of the world too. Maybe they're also part of this. I'm just saying that, again, a lot of what we're seeing in regards to the bond market, it's not broken, it's just being manipulated. It's being manipulated to look like it's broken because if China, if they're already dumping U.S. bonds, again, that means that they're panicking, right? That's exactly what that means. Because in the long run, that doesn't help China due to the fact that it would strengthen the yuan, which would make their exports more expensive, which is definitely something that China doesn't want in the long term. So if they're doing that to appear stronger than they are, that means that they want to get this over with quickly, right? They want Trump to fold quickly, which is why they're coming out here and basically demanding that President Trump get rid of all the tariffs, even though President Trump is basically still working out the details in regards to how he wants to apply the tariffs across the board, okay, which is being misinterpreted by the media as President Trump folding, because again, that's what they want. Wall Street wants President Trump to fold as well too, because again, they want to do business in China. They don't want to see China have an economic collapse, right? This is what they're panicking about, right? Because if we hold these tariffs in place for maybe 2 to 3 weeks, we may be able to get China to break. So with all that being said, I just want people to understand what President Trump is up against right now, right? He's literally up against everybody, okay, who is on the side of China, right? The whole political establishment, the financial establishment, they are on the side of China and they're against Trump. And Trump has to hold strong against all of those entities, right? So without further ado, I want to react to this interview featuring a U.S. trade representative for President Trump, Jamieson Greer, and Margaret Brennan, who is the Trump deranged host for Face the Nation. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this.
States Trade Representative Ambassador Jamieson Greer. Good morning to you, Mr. Ambassador.
When you're with Amex Platinum, you can get a room upgrade when available.
States Trade Representative Ambassador Jamieson Greer. Good morning to you, Mr. Ambassador.
Good morning, Margaret. How are you?
I'm well. I'm hoping you can give us some news of movement on this clash. Is the Trump administration opening any kind of channel to Beijing right now? Are there any plans for Presidents Trump and Xi to speak?
Right now, we don't have any plans on that. This issue is truly at the leaders level. Before April 2nd, I had a conversation with my counterpart, and others did. Since April 2nd, we have this at the leaders level, and at some point, as President Trump has pointed out, we expect that we'll be able to have a conversation with them.
Well, China holds about $1.5 trillion in assets in this country. About half of them are U.S. treasuries. In the past, you've spoken about strategic decoupling from China and acknowledged it would cause some short-term pain. Are you trying to get China to sell some of those assets? Is that part of your goal as well?
That's not part of this plan. President Trump has a global program to try to reshore American manufacturing and address the trade deficit. It's a global issue. The only reason we're really in this position right now is because China chose to retaliate. So many other countries affirmatively said they did not want to retaliate. We want to negotiate with the Americans, and the Chinese made a different decision. So it's not a plan to do that. It was a Chinese decision. They have agency here.
But are you prepared for China to consider selling assets it holds in the United States? And do you want that to happen?
Well, remember, China's been selling off treasuries for some time. It's not a brand new development. The treasuries market will fluctuate. I'm not the Treasury Secretary, so I'm not the best poised to talk about that. But I think the issue is we've become so dependent on China, and for so many decades we haven't had fair market access. And so again, we see China taking action, implementing their policy to try to be less tied up with us as well. So it's not surprising to see them making these kinds of moves. We obviously have to be prepared on our part to have a resilient economy.
So last Friday, late in the day, the administration published some exceptions to the tariffs on countries, including China, with smartphones, computers, electronics, and machines that make semiconductor computer chips. Last Sunday on this program, the Commerce Secretary told us the tariffs are part of a strategy to bring high-tech factories to the U.S. Take a listen.
The army of millions and millions of human beings screwing in little screws to make iPhones, that kind of thing is going to come to America. It's going to be automated, and great Americans, the trade craft of America, is going to fix them, is going to work on them. Our high school educated Americans, the core to our workforce, is going to have the greatest resurgence of jobs in the history of America to work on these high-tech factories.
But now those high-tech items are given these exceptions. So is the goal still to move electronics manufacturing to the United States?
We certainly need to have semiconductors and the downstream electronics supply chain move to the United States. What happened is, it's not really an exception, that's not even the right word for it. What happened is this type of supply chain moved from the tariff regime for the global tariff, the reciprocal tariff, and it moved to the national security tariff regime, where we have studies ongoing for pharmaceuticals, for semiconductors, metals, etc. So it's not that they won't be subject to tariffs geared at reshoring, they'll just be under a different regime. It's shifting from one bucket of tariffs to a different bucket of potential tariffs.
Yeah, so just so people understand exactly what's going on, because again, the media is trying to frame President Trump and this move as him, quote unquote, folding. But I think it's more about Trump trying to, at the very least, again, keep Wall Street from continuing to commit financial treason against his country, because that's what they're doing. Apparently, Tim Cook had called up Trump's team, right, about the 100+% tariffs, okay, across the board, the reciprocal tariffs, and they didn't like that, right? Clearly, Apple does not like those tariffs on their smartphones and things like that. So I think what happened is that Trump is trying to walk the fine line of not letting up on China while at the same time not having Wall Street panic, right? Like, because again, that's what they're doing. This is again why they're panic selling their treasuries, okay? Because they're trying to influence the president and to get him to stop crippling China, right? This is what they're trying to do. Again, they're working on behalf of the Chinese. So when it comes to certain goods, like, you know, the semiconductors, the electronics, you know, the goods that we should build here, okay, for national security purposes, he moved them into another bucket of goods, right? Where their tariffs are going to be like 20%, okay? But again, the tariffs are still going to be there, right? They're not going away. They're still there. They just moved them in another bucket. And I think part of the reason why is because, again, Wall Street is freaking out, okay, about these tariffs, and they're in the administration's ear about it. But President Trump knows that he can't let up, right? We have to continue to squeeze China because we can get them to come to the table. We just have to stick it out just a little bit longer, right? Just a little bit longer. But again, Wall Street, they seem hell-bent on trying to make the president fold. But the president is not folding, at least not at this point.
But those tariffs aren't in place.
That's right.
So they are
that is subject to study by the Commerce Department. For now, they're subject to a 20% tariff. They're subject to a 20% tariff that's on China.
The Commerce Secretary was on another network this morning, and he said semiconductors are, quote, exempt from reciprocal tariffs, but that won't be a permanent sort of exemption. Here's what you told my colleague Nicole Killian April 8th.
Why aren't there any exemptions with some of these tariffs, sir?
The president decided that we're not going to have exemptions. We can't have a Swiss cheese solution to this universal problem that we're facing.
So I hear you saying the carve-outs are temporary, but isn't that still the Swiss cheese situation you said you were trying to avoid?
I would just disagree with that, Margaret. We have two different tariff programs. You have the global reciprocal tariff getting at the trade deficit, and you have critical sector national security tariffs, where we have tariffs in place on autos, steel, and aluminum, and we have them coming on semiconductors in the supply chain, pharmaceuticals, lumber, copper, etc. They're just different approaches to do it. We have to be much more deliberate about the semiconductor supply chain because we don't even import semiconductors as such that much, right? They go into downstream products. So we have to be very careful, and we want the whole supply chain here, not just one product.
So the president said on Monday he'd be much more specific. Will we see those sectoral tariffs announced? I mean, he's saying he's already putting big tariffs on pharma. You're telling me that there's going to be an investigation into it. That's something that sounds like it's far in the future. What time frame are we talking about?
You might not realize that you could qualify for disability benefits. The program is designed for anyone who is unable to work.
Far in the future. What time frame are we talking about?
Well, for the national security tariffs, you have to do an investigation in order to impose the tariffs. That's just legal process. That's how we do it. That's how it was done for steel and aluminum, autos, etc.
Right, but you've decided the outcome.
Investigations for those. No, we have not. We have not. That's why they're exempt. That's why they're, they don't have a tariff covered right now, because you have to go through the investigation to determine the outcome.
Okay.
We expect there will have to be some kind of tariff on that, but we have to go through the investigation, figure out what's appropriate, and that's a Commerce Department function to do that.
Yeah. So I just want you guys to understand what's happening here. Okay. Again, President Trump, he's not just working against China, right? Again, it's against Wall Street, it's against the liberal media, it's against the Democrats. Right. And when you're in that position, right, it's going to be tough, right? It's going to be tough to be hard on China because the honest to God truth is that as a country, we don't have the sense of American pride and nationalism to take a little bit of pain, right? A little bit of short-term pain for long-term gain, right? We have such a short-term mindset, and that is especially true with Wall Street, right? They're just worried about the next quarter. That's all they're worried about. They're not worried about 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. Again, this is why these people buy and sell and they trade every day, because they're not investors, they're speculators, right? The speculators are upset that there's uncertainty when it comes to China, okay? And that's why they want to end this as fast as possible. And they would much rather see President Trump fold than for China to fold, because if President Trump folds, then we go back to the status quo. And they love the status quo, right? Wall Street loves the status quo that we currently have with China, and they're not interested in making trade more fair or bringing back jobs or any of the goals that President Trump has laid out, because for them, you know, they like the arrangement right now. Okay, they like doing business in China and having certain opportunities that the CCP allows, right, them to have. They like that. They like their special privileges. So, you know, that is essentially what we're dealing with. And that's why I want people to understand about this whole trade thing, is that, yes, things are going to continue to change. And the reason why they're changing and they're evolving is because President Trump has maximum pressure on himself due to the fact that it's quite literally him against the whole establishment. Right. And now you can see why is it that you had a bunch of politicians give lip service to take it on China, but never actually did it. Right. Because take it on China means that literally everybody, the whole establishment, turns against you. And that's what you're seeing happening with President Trump. So we're going to see how long this continues to go. If President Trump can continue to hold strong, I think that he can make China fold. I think he can make China come to the table. The liberal media is purposely not talking about the job losses, the economic destruction, what is happening to China as a result of the fact that you have U.S. consumers canceling orders from China, producers canceling orders. Like, China is more dependent on us than we are for them. And that's just the reality of the situation. We have the upper hand here. The problem is, again, is that the president is being undermined by domestic forces, right? So again, that is the issue that we have to overcome. It's just going to be interesting to see how the president continues to deal with the pressure, mainly from Wall Street and the liberal media, to fold to China. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. So, like I said, China right now is the drug dealer. China flooded America with fentanyl, killed half the Americans, turned the other half out, and did the other half of the Americans from China. Like I said, China is the drug dealer, and you consumers are the fiends. The junkies to China. Y'all junkies to China. At the end of the day, that's what it seems like. All the complaining and whatnot. And whatnot. Half the American consumers are junkies to China. You'll hear him complaining, crying, wiping their tears. Your product. Selling them high-end bags made from China and then bring them over here and hit our people in the head for them fake-ass bags. Them fake bags, fake ass Jordans, Timbs. At this point, hold your dollar, peoples. Understand me? Who know about you can buy who know about buying pallets from Amazon? Little secret I'm sharing with y'all. I overheard someone else talking about it, so let me educate the mass that's not educated on. You can buy pallets from Amazon, people that return shit, and they be having these pallets full of goods and shit that people return. And got a business or something like that, and you want to buy a pallet, they got like different type of goods. I checked it out. I did the research on it. I checked it out. Most definitely gotta have a business account with Amazon. Most definitely gotta have a business account. You can buy pallets, man. Like people return them motherfucking goods and shit. Like some of that shit, like I said, that shit made in China. That shit cheap as a motherfucker, y'all. Half them goods made in China, them shits break and whatnot. And people send that shit back. And they just put it on pallets and shit. Load pallets up with all types of goods. And they sell pallets. Like you can bid on them, or you can actually buy pallets for your little store and whatnot. You know what I mean? But check it out, y'all. Buying pallets from Amazon with goods on them. I mean, they might give you a whole pallet, 2-3 pallets for like $1,500. All types of goods and merchandise on that shit. See? It's a lot of ways to get money in America, y'all. Trust me. It's a lot of ways to get bread in America. That's a fact. And you don't even gotta do it illegal. You can do it the right way. You understand me? Check. Most definitely can do it the right way. Start a business, get your LLC. I think I did a video. I think I did a video on showing y'all how to get your LLC and yeah, EIN number. I did the process. I walked y'all through the process. Something I experienced. You understand me? When you starting a business. A little light exterminating business. Get your LLC. I think I went through LegalZoom to get my yeah, I went through LegalZoom. You can go through LegalZoom and get everything. You heard? You can go through LegalZoom and get everything. They'll do everything for you for like payments and shit like that. For like payments and shit like that. It's like they get everything for you. You don't gotta do shit. But pay them some bread and they'll get your EIN number and your LLC for you. That's at LegalZoom.com. But I realized when I went through the process with LegalZoom.com, you can get your EIN number for free, goddammit. You understand me, ladies and gentlemen? Just go to your local media courthouse and apply for an EIN number, which is attached to your social. But if someone try to sue you, they can't sue you indirectly. They can go after the business. That's why it's good to have an EIN number tied to your business. You understand me, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah, I should do a class. I should do a class for that. Showing y'all how to open up a little business. And just to have it. Everyone, I think, should have an EIN number. Everyone. Besides your social security number, everyone should have an EIN number. All right. Then I'll show you how to open up a business account through your bank, right? And then I'll show you how to get credit through your business. I can get you up to maybe $250,000, $350,000 in credit for your business. Fact though. I got into all that shit, though. Understand me? Check. And it's not hard, ladies and gentlemen. It's not hard at all. Just with a little this and a little that. You'll figure it out. Understand me, peoples? You'll figure it out. Facts. Not fiction. I just wanted to do a video this morning. I might go in here and edit it and put it all together and have one nice long video. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we're going to do. We're going into headquarters and do some work. All right? Peace.